Everyone says being an adult is terrible, but what are some good things about adulthood? Planning your own trips, vacations where you get to do and see exactly what you want. I love this part about being an adult. Last summer my parents went away on a 3-week vacation in Europe. It was an anniversary trip they've been planning and saving for about 3 years. In addition, my girlfriend at the time broke up with me, which made me really depressed and broken. Because of all of that, I literally made an off-the-cuff vacation for myself. Told my boss I was taking a week off and drove out to Ohio. Visited a bunch of museums and places I have always wanted to see, and I had a fun time by myself. There was no serious planning or anything. Just getting up and leaving for a few days. I remember when I got my first car. Early 20s. The first thing that I did was start adventuring around my area and then expanded out to Yellowstone 2 years later. My yearly trips are what give me the energy to keep going with all of the BS that life throws. Same goes with hobbies and things. I've always been obsessed with swimming, but it was always too expensive, which I guess is fair. But as an adult, one of the first things I did was join a gym with a fantastic pool, worth every penny. Low. UILMEL equals molime. TLAOE. 1. No definite plans first thing in the morning. That way I can choose to sleep in or go for a via. 2. Late morning. A casual breakfast, brunch. 3. Visit some attraction. A museum, gallery, exhibit, building, whatever. Sele. 5. Continuation of the attraction before lunch, or off to another one. 6. Back to the hotel for a shower and change. 7. And 7A. Dinner, followed by a show, performance, concert, or vice versa. 8. Dessert, or evening stroll, or late-night cocktails, or any combination thereof. Something to wind down the evening. 9. Bed. And one massive caveat: except for events that required the purchase of tickets in advance, everything is flexible. Like one attraction more than you thought? Stay longer. Don't care for something as much as you thought you would. Then leave and have a few nice to see but not mandatory options at your disposal just in case. There's none of this "I'm enjoying this so much, but we gotta go to see the next thing" nonsense. You're on vacation. Enjoy it. Not an adult. But this is the bit I'm most looking forward to. I'm consistently amazed by how cheap flying has become. True, having control over what you do in general is so nice. Freedom. Money. Not caring what other people think about you. Not needing to fit in or have the latest stuff, best clothes. What are these things you speak of? Freedom? Moni. I don't understand. Freedom. I'm still waiting. I don't have any duck-in kind of freedom. I hate my life. I want to end it. Not needing to fit in or have the latest stuff, best clothes. Nobody will care if you wear a brand that is unacceptable. If you wear clothes from the Gap, you won't be labeled as gay. Yuppers. You get to lie to the children. For example, you can say, childhood and teenage years are best. I like Mola. I sure as fuck don't miss either. However, miss university. You couldn't pay me to go the hell. That was high school again. Once was enough. I'm a teenager and I hate it. Everyone's an asshole. When I was a child, everyone was an asshole. Now I have crippling anxiety and just realized I have no fond memories of childhood except of my Opa. Fucking hell, man. EO, MH tilde. Fuck a moose. 83.8 hours ago. Edited 8 hours ago. Independence. All you little shits out there who are complaining about adulthood have clearly forgotten how it's like having almost no say in your life and not being able to change anything without asking first. Asterisk independence. If I want to eat ice cream or junk food before dinner, I can, and often do. Dessert as an appetizer at a restaurant is a solid strategy too. Yeah, but you probably shouldn't. I just had a milkshake for dinner. You only answer to yourself. No curfews. Do what you want when you get home. no schoolwork. And then there was home office. Man, I can't wait for no homework. And now all of school is homework. It's terrible. Being an adult is hard. Just being entirely self-reliant is tough. Between taxes and insurance and job applications and finding love. But at the same time, I enjoy being an adult 100 times more than being a kid. To have complete autonomy over my decisions is tremendous. Sometimes I make the wrong decisions, but it's fun to learn and grow from these decisions. If I want to eat candy for breakfast, I eat candy for breakfast. I don't recommend it though. I love finding people that I can build a real friendship with because we have common interests and not just because we are the same age. Going on first dates is tremendous, and finding a person that you are compatible with is the greatest feeling in the world. Finding a hobby as an adult is way more rewarding than doing something that your parents forced you into. I've been learning piano and writing as an adult, and it is way more fun than doing it because my parents made me. Granted, it is much harder to find motivation to do anything as an adult, but it is way more satisfying when you bring yourself to do it. To be fair, I knew that I wanted to be an adult since I was a kid. I loathed having a bedtime, eating what my parents made me, or watching what they liked on the telly. I loved being alone, and now I am able to get all the alone time I want. Being an adult is hard, but the trade-offs make it way better than childhood. Fair point. I'm in my teenage years and I feel like I'm in the sweet spot of responsibilities and the freedom. Maybe I'm about to experience a seismic shift in the next decade. Ha. People take you seriously for what you have to say. As a kid, when my parents had a question or there was a problem, they always took my approach to it as a joke. And of course, they just said I was being cute. This was when I was like 5 or 6 years old when I decided to start helping, but I was never taken seriously for it. Now that I look back, it feels damn good to know I was right and they could have had their problems solved, or greatly reduced, if they had just listened to me. To any parents reading this, take your child seriously when they try to present an idea or solution. Not only can this help them be more confident later in life, but sometimes, it's the kids that know. Hilo. Sibatla Renee. Lolele. Hey, kids are just really creative sometimes. They think of wacky solutions sometimes, but it very well might still work. One big caveat is that early adulthood is like being a freshman all over again. You're super mature to everybody younger than you, but everybody older than you still sees you as a kid. They may take you seriously or they may not. Depends on the situation. On a non-work day you can do whatever the hell you want. Heck, even on a work day the other 16 hours are yours to do whatever with. Want to get blackout drunk on cough medicine in the parking lot behind Costco? Do it. Want to eat a pint of ice cream and a 2-liter of vodka for dinner? Sounds like a party. Want to sit on your ass and binge watch some shit on Netflix while gorging on takeout Chinese food like a fat pig? Order me some wontons. You are free to do whatever the hell you want. LOMM Ricard and MIAP Mateo Le 1E 0 Lele OE. I can order and get Taco Bell whenever I want, with my own money, and there's no one that can stop me. ETMESG as an MLR Lee. Eat and or buy whatever the fuck I want, without having to ask first. I'll be looking forward to that. I'm turning 18 in 6 days. Only having to make your bed when you decide it is a priority that morning. Allowed to get drunk. ETSET. 7 OE mofo. MSTO. T equals E2. Fe te red te. GEL 0. Half of the comments are about alcohol. Shit, maybe adulthood is that bad. Drinking lost its fun when I turned 21. Plus, somewhere around that time I lost my immunity to hangovers. I decide what gets in the shopping cart, and when I want tortilla chips and cola, then I will do so. I'd honestly say not being in high school anymore. Have friends. Or don't. Have a job, or don't. Try what you really want to do, or don't. Succeed, or fail. People will judge you, but you won't be forced by law to spend time with those same people every weekday. Being an adult isn't terrible, it's just that your body starts to fall apart with age, but your understanding of yourself, of relationships, of the world increases every year, as well as your earning power and accumulated assets. A lot of people say that your perception of time speeds up as you get older. And I definitely experienced that growing from a kid to a teenager. Does that continue into adulthood? I feel like I'm gonna wake up one day and be 82 at this rate. I painted my bedroom ceiling midnight blue and no one could stop me. Also, cereal is a legal dinner. You can have sex and buy sex toys whenever or do anything sexual you want. Can't really do that as a hormonal teen. I mean you can, but you can just do it without having to hide it. Shaban 123. I can finally fap without stress about parents coming in. I don't have to live with my abusive dad anymore. I absolutely love being an adult. I get to do what I want, when I want to, with no permission from anyone. If I want to buy that Snickers bar at checkout, I'm going to buy that goddamn Snickers bar. And ain't no one going to stop me. I have a tub of ice cream in my freezer. I saw this question, and went and took a bite of ice cream. Because I could. Eating an entire sleeve of cookies for dinner because you can. Not having to check your bank account before every purchase. When you make a baby, your parents are so pumped. Being a father is about the greatest joy you can ever experience. Just until you have grandchildren. I don't know how to describe it, but you love them in an entirely different way than your kids. Not more than them, just different. It's amazing. Hell yeah it is. It does look like more fun, overall, than being a mother. You guys get a lot less of the vomiting, screaming, being punched in the bladder, being called into school than we do. I suspect I can eat my dessert before dinner if I want to. It seems as if most of the people here are physically adults but mentally children. Not in a rude way, since a lot of them want to eat sweets before dinner. The things that seem great as an adult still fall apart when you realize that as a child, for the most part, you didn't see the bars on your cage. You enjoyed all your freedom in ignorant bliss. Mommy and daddy could fix anything. Life was fair, except when mom or dad punished you, or your sibling wouldn't share a toy, and you didn't have any major worries stressing you out and messing with your sleep cycle. Shit happened. You just accepted it as the way things were, and you played with friends a lot with no responsibilities tying you down. As an adult, your freedoms come with responsibilities and consequences for not living up to them. And you know it. On the other hand, sex can be pretty awesome, so there's that. You are free to find your truth, your purpose for which you are willing to live and die. And to disobey foolish rules made to humiliate you. I think people who say it's terrible are just not good at being adults. It's way better than being a colot. Oh, maybe it's because I had a shitty childhood, but I think adulthood is rad. No more living with my screaming parents and feeling like I'm walking on eggshells day in, day out. No more college dorms. I get to pick and choose what I want to learn about for my hobbies instead of sitting in a classroom all day. Look, unless you're wealthy or a trust fund kid, there's a point in your 20s where you're going to need to decide what kind of life you want to lead. Do you want to risk your life with more gambles that may pay off really well? Or do you want to take the safer choices and maybe have a more boring, low-talmente leulcmiucu? I say this as someone in my mid-30s who has opted for the latter, while some of my friends opted for the former. They chose to move to higher cost of living places, take risky jobs, rent apartments with roommates, no savings built up, etc. And I'm not judging that lifestyle at all. They've had some pretty amazing life experiences that I could never dream of, and that is the life that they wanted. Meanwhile, I specifically opted to move to a lower cost of living place so I could own property. I've worked the same job for 10 plus years for the 401k and benefits, etc. I'd go nuts living the life my friends lead because of the lack of security, while they'd go nuts living mine because of how boring it seems. People who are afraid of adulthood don't want to have to make difficult choices like that, but guess. Private Emmerly Maison la RMNT M Kant Ale Roll M Nel Malti MOMTRCC or lay. Because you can't have it both ways. You can't be a job hop or looking for amazing opportunities in new places and have a ton of savings. Again, unless you're rich, and you can't have a secure life, and be able to do stuff like drop everything and start over in a new city. Once you make that choice in your 20s, you live it out in your 30s, and that's when stuff starts really falling into place and being sweet. My friends who had all those great experiences have settled a little bit but are still open to moving around, meeting new people, etc. And I'm in my house living a fairly comfortable lifestyle because I've put down roots. Like some people are like dandelions, constantly growing, turning into little tufts, blowing away on the wind, finding a new spot and repeating the process. Others are like trees that set down roots and grow sturdy in one spot. Both plants are awesome in their own way. So yeah, I'm in my 30s, love my home, splurge on things occasionally, etc. The only thing that kinda sucks is budgeting, not being told what to do, to a certain extent. While true that I pretty much game alone, I know no one online or off that would play video games with me. I can afford any game I want. I can drink alcohol with some consequences legally. Freedom. I made cookies at 2:30 a.m. yesterday, so that getting to try all those interesting foods and beverages now that your palate has developed. Being left alone, smoking inside, no curfews. Your parents can't force you to go to pointless events and stuff anymore. Only you get to decide. It LOLR really OLS. Oh, if I want to stay up to 3 a.m. watching bad sitcoms on the sofa with a blanket, no one is going to stop me. My sofa, my TV, my blanket, everything in my fridge is there because I bought it, so I get to decide when we eat it. Traveling, where I want to, when I want to, if I can afford it, and if there isn't a global pandemic to stop me being taken seriously. The older you get, the more you can get doctors, etc. to actually listen. You're more independent. I can buy a motorcycle and my mom can't tell me no. My wife can, but that's a different situation. Breakfast for dinner, ice cream for lunch, vodka, drinking alcohol. You are actually free, even if not so many understand that they actually are. The things dragging you back are often decisions which you can undo, in most of the cases. Like you have the choice to quit your job, move and just restart. 1. I can twist the cap off on anything I fucking want and post my twist job to the internet. I get a lot of hits on twistifers.com/user profiles/fudgemeat, and I'm almost always making personal appearances with the locals to twist off this and twist off that. They love watching these meaty hands and hypervascular forearms do work. This is the kind of shit my parents would have never allowed me to do when I was a kid, even though I was a twist-offer prodigy. They were too worried about the sex and drugs involved with that lifestyle. And guess what? I'm having all the sex and drugs these arms can twist in. Suck that, Mom, Dad, and UNLJ and Uncle Jay's friend. I don't know what that was, but I approve. I can wear whatever I want, eat whatever I want, live wherever. I can take a trip anytime I feel like it, if I have the money. IDK, it's just nice not having every action scrutinized. You can choose to be independent from your family if that's what you feel is best. I can't speak personally, but I have many friends who are doing much better once they were able to leave the home they grew up in and lead healthier lives both physically financially and emotionally. Unfortunately, nobody gets to choose their family, and not everyone has had a great childhood. Several Ask Reddit threads in the past month have revisited things that were unfair as a child at school or at home. Thankfully, my parents were respectful of my sister and I and considered our input on decisions, although they held the final say, veto power. But as a public school student, I can think of a lot of really idiotic rules, policies, and unfair punishments rulings, like punishing everyone until one person confessed, not being able to counter a decision with research, logical argument, or a counteroffer. As an adult, I have agency and autonomy over what I do and can sometimes debate counter a work policy. I can vote on policies at the state and local level, and as long as I use a calm and respectful tone, most people will not blatantly dismiss what I have to say. Other than that, I enjoy that I have choice over what I eat and how I spend limited free time. Even if I end up making poor choices, I still remember being annoyed when those choices were made for HLA. I am also glad to for the most part be done with tests, exams, and just the constant pressure of grades. There are still work performance reviews, but for the most part they feel like they are representative of my actual job responsibilities and performance, although I know that is not the norm for a lot of jobs with bullshitty evals. Disposable income. For the most part, you get to leave work at work. Compared to the first, however, many years where you have hours of homework and probably extracurricular activities. As others have stated, the freedom, independence of it. I can't drink anymore, so I eat about a gallon of ice cream a day. I know that's how I'ma die, but I'm going out my way, damn it. In addition to being able to buy alcohol, you tend to wind up with a solid weed guy. You smoke your weed on your own property, and whether it's legal in your state or not, nobody can stop you. Ol 1e. Amariola lila matal. La node. No curfew. Eating ice cream for breakfast. Stop giving a damn about what people think about you. Conform to the masses. Managing your money. All of these are synonymous with having your own place. Being able to do what you want. If I want to buy a gun, I do that. If I want to have steak for dinner, I do. If I want to smoke weed in the living room of my house, I do. Just about everything listed here are not possible when you have mental health issues and the money problems that comes with mental health issues. If I want to watch TV show or movie, I can watch TV show or movie. No authority figure is going to tell me I cannot watch TV show or movie. Everyone says being an adult is terrible, but what are some good things about adulthood? Not those who say this simply didn't grow up. As an adult, I am 100% independent, free to do whatever I want, buy everything that I want, much more mature and smart. Acne-free motherfucker. Obviously, you have to put the work to be mentally and financially stable in your adult life. But it's all worth it. It's like a MMORPG. The more experience you have, the better you get. I'm free from the house, oh hate so much, can't wait. You likely won't have to deal with bullying. Your coworkers are not going to harass you. This includes coworkers from different departments of the company who you never interacted with. To quote Will Ferrell, I can eat cookies for dinner. Kid receives a present he doesn't like. This could mean many things. A shirt with a design he doesn't like. Clothes he know will get him laughed at. A CD of a band he won't listen to. A video game that sucks. And cheap version of an expensive electronic device in which is of horrible quality. This includes situations in which the kid asks for a specific item and the gift giver gets the specific item for the kid, and the kid realizes the product actually sucks. I should have done more research. Quote, if the kid doesn't use the item, it's a personal insult to the gift giver and the kid is labeled ungrateful and a spoiled brat. Please note that this only applies when the gift giver gets a gift they think the kid will actually Like, adult buys something he doesn't like. This could mean many things. A CD of a band he won't listen to, a video game that sucks, and cheap version of an expensive electronic device in which is of horrible quality. This includes situations in which the adult realizes the product actually sucks. I should have done more research, quote, or the CD is a cover album and not the original songs. The adult can return the item to the store and nobody will think any less of the adult. People actually believing you about your own mental health. Fear. It's twofold. Being independent and making your own choices. But it also comes with more responsibility, higher bills, and having to be more careful about life decisions. Being able to choose where you live. I love not being grounded. I'd hate having to sit in my room, looking out the window at my friends, riding bikes down the street. Independence. Driving. Being able to have some privacy. Love being able to drive and go where I want when I want. Love having my privacy when it comes to my social media accounts. Cereal for dinner and pizza for breakfast. You can cut your toxic family members out. You get to plan the rest of your life. Do you want to make a startup? Go right ahead and make sure to have the grit to follow through. Do you want to invest? Go ahead. Not having your parents tell you to go to sleep early. I had leftover garlic parm chicken wings for breakfast the other day. I can buy any new thing I want. New video game? Yup, just buy it. Want a Switch? I'll go buy one. I can choose to skip obligations and no one can tell me otherwise. Being able to do whatever TF you want most of the time. Total freedom and responsibility. I know people always look down on responsibility as a chore, but to me it feels like to have them. Makes me feel useful and needed. Also appreciate how my life perspective evolves as I grow older. I feel more at ease and I understand the bigger picture. Every year I understand things a bit more and it's a humbling experience. In general, I love how my ego takes a back seat and I take on more of a mentor role to some people and try and help them out and give them advice. I love and hate being able to pick my own food every day. Copyright, but what I really like is that I don't have to be home at a certain time. Eating candy for breakfast and breakfast for dinner. Exclamation mark. Doing whatever the fuck you want whenever you want without having to ask for mommy and daddy's permission. You can even order 100 burgers at an In-N-Out if you want to. If you're financially stable and single, you can kind of do whatever you want. Within reason. Obviously there are responsibilities, but those responsibilities come with freedom. Wanna go to see a film? Go ahead. Change your mind as it comes close to the time of the showing. You're letting no one down. You could even go to a bar and get shit-faced if you like. But of course, you'd have to deal with the consequences in the morning. If you live alone, you can clean, work, wear and cook in your own pace and what you want. Not being a helpless child at the mercy of alcoholic, abusive parents. Not being used to satisfy some older perverts' whims, not having to pretend to believe the shit they tell you in their churches. In other words, autonomy. My whole life I struggled with the idea that I shouldn't do something just because someone told me to. I needed to make my own mistakes and figure things out myself. So I was pretty crap at being a kid, and hated having to rely on adults so much. I left my parents as soon as I could, and I was an idiot young adult. But the freedom was amazing and just felt so right. I had finally had room to grow my own way. All the knowledge and experience you have accumulated. Being able to make reasonably big purchases without having to save for them. Being able to pay for dinner or a round of drinks and not think twice. Ordering whatever you want on the menu, not just ordering what's cheapest. I totally appreciate and even feel guilty that many adults cannot do this. It doesn't automatically come with the territory. The downside is you have to work your ass off and also have a bit of luck to be able to do the ESFE Adulthood is fantastic. If you think adulthood is terrible, it's probably because you're a terrible adult. I think adults that say being an adult is terrible haven't grown up yet. It ends. I can do weird things and not have to explain myself. My partner is just as weird as me. He gets it. My artificial Christmas tree is still set up. Sans ornaments. Why is it up? Because it looks like a tree. Why? Because I like the look of it. If I can have a plant on my desk, I can have a tree in the corner. On my days off, I often put on ridiculously fancy makeup as if I'm going out. Why? Because I was bored and felt like it. Freedom and money. This also increases with age. When I was 18, I worked a shitty job for SFA pay. But outside of work, I had freedom. Now at 30, I work for myself, which is challenging but liberating. I'm on target to be financially set for life by 45. Which means I will have plenty of passive income and not have to work a job I hate ever again. I ate 3 cookies for breakfast this morning. When I was a kid, I had to do lots of chores to earn money. They had to be done well and the rate was terrible, like $2 an hour. Today, as an adult, I'm being paid $20 an hour to watch Netflix and play on Reddit. This isn't what my job actually entails, but it is what I'm mostly doing this week. I get to do what I want and I don't have to explain it to anyone if I don't want to. My father asked why my husband and I are planning a trip to Japan. I told him because we wanted to. He kept pressing and I said, I'm an adult. I don't have to tell you why. It's my trip. I'm doing it. The reason he's pressing so much is because he once heard one bad thing about the country in Malamaremi Ale Nala Rhyme. Or Kate. I can do whatever I want, eat whatever I want, go wherever I want, buy whatever I want, and could live wherever I want to live. I love the independence in adulthood. Don't have to listen to your parents anymore telling you what to do. You are in control of your life. Just think about it. You don't have to listen to your parents' rules and laws anymore. You can flex your ID in a tobacco store. You can do whatever you want. You don't actually have to do anything. Good thing about adulthood, you can buy and eat a whole cake. Stay up all night playing video games. Not ever make your bed. Sleep in until afternoon and have chips for breakfast. And no one can stop you. Bad thing about adulthood, you can buy and eat a whole cake. Stay up all night playing video games. Not ever make your bed. Sleep in until afternoon and have chips for breakfast. And no one can stop you. You will live like you've always dreamed of when you were a kid for the first few years of adulthood. LF. DM it OLMNTES 1E10. OMEAMO ALUNT equals ELA. SEL. Being able to buy whatever you want. Within your budget obviously. And not having to justify it to anyone. Want a new video game? Buy it. A new makeup palette? Knock yourself out. I can and do regularly buy myself a whole birthday cake and eat it all in the same day. I always save my oldest son a slice with a red star on it though. Becoming the camel with the biggest hump. It brings a kind of joy that gives you peace. Not having to ask an adult to drive you somewhere you want to go and hope that they will. Now, if I want to go somewhere, I have my own car that I can hop in and go. Sex. I really like my kids. They're super fun to watch grow up and really energetic and creative. A while ago I bought a 10 inches red velvet cake and ate the whole thing in 3 days. I can do whatever I want. Do you like cake? Go buy a cake and eat it too. No special occasion is needed. I can go to bed whenever I want. But to be fair, it's usually pretty early as I'm tired as heck. You get to buy things by yourself. You get to do what you want when you want and how you want to do it. That alone to me is worth its weight in gold. As a child I recall wanting to do things but had no money. Couldn't travel far and get to approach it how I please. If I want to go to Canada next year I can pop down to my travel agent or go online. get a quote and make a plan and arrangements and go where I'd like. When I was a kid, I remember just being told to get into the car and suddenly on holiday getting to do some things I liked, but mostly being dragged off by parents or siblings to do something they Pella. It's also worth mentioning as the eldest kid I was expected by my parents to be more behaved and set an example, and this sometimes meant I had to give up the things I wanted to do to please the younger siblings. For me, it's becoming more aware of myself and the world around me. The ignorance of a child is bliss, but learning and understanding life better is one of the most valuable things I've experienced as an adult. Also, love, even with your biggest crush. As a horny teen, you can't understand the feeling of romantic love the way you can as an adult. You can set up and decorate your house how you want it. Control is no longer confined to your room. L smiley face. L smiley face. You will never again be too young to do something. I don't have anyone telling me what to do. I can eat what I want and wear what I want. Just kidding. I'm married. Being adult is great. Just budget, budget, budget. The less debt you have, the less stress you have. Take the job you like, better with lower pay. Less debt, more savings, happy life. Now when you start adding people to your family, it gets harder, so put that shit off as long as possible. I get to drive a car, drink, and have sex. Leaving a party whenever I feel like it. Having sex without sneaking around. Having whatever meals I want. Nobody finishing the last of my favorite snack. Walking around naked. Knowing where everything in the house is cause there's no one moving shit around. Being as loud as I want. Being able to go and get a cake whenever I'm not in school anymore. That's one thing. And I don't have to get up at the crack of dawn every morning to go to school, either. But apparently I'm the only adult left on the planet who doesn't have to get up early for anything and has actual free time. Drinking, though beer 3 degrees. Being able to stay up as late as you want, and the worst would be then regretting it when getting up for work the next day. Free will, voting, owning property, and not having people shove their nose into my business all the time. No getting yelled at for how you spend your own money, at least until you get married. You can, to an extent, decide where and how you want to live for yourself. That's all I got. All that's really changed for me since becoming an adult is more bills and stronger antidepressants. Staying home in your PJs if you want to. We were poor growing up. Getting a soda was a luxury. Now I work for a soda company and can RWNMLS. Eating cereal for breakfast, lunch and dinner. No one can stop me now, muahaha. On a more serious note, I think the best and worst thing is the independence that comes with adulthood. I may make terrible mistakes, but at least I'm enjoying the process now. It was my decision and my responsibility to do so, and so I accept the consequences happily. Okay, depending on the consequences, the outcoming emotion does differ. I still prefer it this way though. I can eat dessert for breakfast after smoking a joint and nobody can stop me. Eating all the candy want. The all-you-can-eat ass buffet. Craft beer and small batch bourbon.